Today we're going to talk about a complete lunatic sociopath. No, not Jeffrey Dahmer, not someone who's in prison for being a terrorist, a mass killer, or a rapist or a pedophile, but somebody who is clinically and diagnosably not only severely dangerous, but one of the most egregious liars I have ever seen in my entire life. Kari Lake, who else? This is one of the worst people in America, if not the entire planet. And what we're going to talk about today is how she has defaulted in her lawsuit and what it means. We're not going to go back through the history of her election denial, just going to focus on what she's defaulted on, what that means as a practical matter, and the future of how she's going to be held liable for everything she's done, and she's going to have to declare bankruptcy, which is not going to work, and she's going to lose everything and faceplant just like Rudy Giuliani. So let's get to it. So Kari Lake, as part of her election denial scheme, continued to make various allegations, and she shifted theories repeatedly. She went to trial multiple times in state court to try to get the election overturned. She went on appeal multiple times to try to get her losses in those trial courts overturned, and she lost horribly in every single case, and including some where her lawyers got sanctioned. If she was going to claim that somebody had injected ballots, like she later accused Stephen Richer of doing, into the election results, she had to raise it in those lawsuits. She failed to do so. And that's important because a lot of her allegations against Stephen Richer, which were primarily that he took 300,000 fabricated fraudulent ballots, like literally made up voter names or changed 300,000 votes from Lake to Katie Hobbs for governor, that this Republican, like her, someone in her own party, took 300,000 in votes that were fraudulent and stuck them in to the election so that she would lose. She never explains why someone from her own party would do something like that. Doesn't seem to make any sense logically, except to make the allegation that's very general and vague and is not really a specific assertion of misconduct that he's part of the deep state or something of that nature. Now, after losing these cases where she had to bring that up and she failed to, it was abundantly clear she had no evidence. She went on for years talking about this, making these false accusations and accusing Stephen Richer of crimes and perjury. And these are all very serious, very, very intense accusations to make that you really should need to put forward evidence if you are going to make them. Well, finally, after he got predictably hundreds and thousands of death threats and had to have the police show up at his house and protect him and his wife as they go to work, and he's got kids, he sued her for defamation to make it stop. She was fundraising off of this. It was part of her core identity as a candidate when she would, or as a failed candidate, when she would go on to Steve Bannon podcast, Sebastian Gorka podcast. All these right-wing people were literally, it's like a defamation trade show every single day, no matter who's on that program. He sued her, and she had an obligation to respond to that. He included the factual accusations of specific times when she made these allegations against him, and she had to provide evidence to go forward with it. She filed a motion to dismiss. She lost that, went all the way up on appeal, all the way to Arizona Supreme Court. They kicked it down. They rejected it. They affirmed the trial court's dismissal of her motion to dismiss Stephen Richer's lawsuit. And then finally, what does she do? She defaults. The one time, like all the MAGA people, like Rudy Giuliani, who claimed he's going to testify in Georgia and he didn't, she doesn't come forward with the evidence. She defaults. And what does a default mean? It means that she has admitted every single factual accusation in Stephen Richer's lawsuit against her. That she acted with malice and intent to harm him, that she knew everything she said was a lie, that she committed fraud on the public on purpose, that she made money from this, and basically all that's left is damages. So what does Kari Lake do? Remember, Kari Lake is a complete sociopath. She is a psychotic person. She's sick and demented. I mean, she is just sick. Well, let's look at the tape about how she originally spoke about Stephen Richer's lawsuit. She's going to make herself the victim and she's going to blame the judiciary. Unbelievable. Of course, bring up her kids and do it all with a straight face like she's the victim. Watch the clip.
These are the people we need need to rally behind. These are the same people, by the way, behind this lawsuit who have tried to bankrupt Rudy Giuliani. They're going after me. They want my home. They want me homeless, penniless. They want my children to be homeless. They want to take every penny I've earned. We are in a post-justice world right now, and I believe that this era in law will go down with an asterisk behind it, much like that era in Major League Baseball.
You see how disgusting a person she is? Look what she did there. Not only has she tried to invalidate the core of democracy and make our elections seem like they are unsecure and invalid, but she's also tried to dismiss the entire judicial branch of our government, our entire legal history, by calling it lawfare. Let me tell you something. Lawfare is a weasel word. It's a BS word. It's what people who don't have evidence say when they don't like the results. She filed lawsuits in those same courts to get the election overturned multiple times. If it's so invalid, if there's an asterisk after it, if it's a post-justice world like she claims, why did she seek to use that very same system? It's inconsistent, illogical, and contradictory. But this is MAGA. They don't make sense about anything ever. They just throw out BS from one day to the next and hope to have their brain-dead, rabies-infected, crazy inability to critically think followers just believe whatever they say, because it's a party motivated by a personality cult and hatred, not logic, common sense, or principles of governance. Okay, now what does she say after she defaulted? This is what's key. She claims a couple things in this clip that are absolutely, I don't know if she's gotten bad legal advice, which is possible, or if she's just lying and in denial. But after she's defaulted, this is what she says.
I'm not going to have them interfering in this all-important race. This is so critical in Arizona. So I just said to Richard, cut to the chase. What are your damages? Where did I hurt you? How did my words hurt you? My words are true, but how did they hurt you? You said you had mental issues because of it. Show us what drugs you're on. We'll reimburse you for the drugs. You've got, what are your medical issues? We'll have a psychiatrist look at you and let us know what, independent.
Well, there, my friends, you see the sociopathic, psychotic, total lunatic, horrible person, Lucifer reflection, Kari Lake at work. Everything is someone else's fault. Everything is a conspiracy. The judicial branch, that system that she filed lawsuits in twice to try to get the election overturned, oh, that's all a sham. It's all it's all a setup. It's all a cover-up. It's all a conspiracy. It's lawfare. This woman is an incredible liar. It's unbelievable. You see, she can say whatever she wants about the legal system, just being able to generate judgments and abuse people without recourse, without rights, without the ability to prove your defense, and that it just happens to innocent people as an instrument of retribution. But that's not the case. Come on, people. Your common sense tells you this. Our legal system exists for holding people accountable when they commit wrongs, criminally and civilly. Period. End of story. We have the most advanced legal system on this planet, by far, not even close. The fact that she defaulted proves 100%, not that she wanted her campaign to not be interfered with, it proves that she has no defense and she was lying this entire time. Her entire persona, all of her fundraising, everything she said, indignantly. She didn't just go up there and sheepishly lie. She went up there and said, like she was the ultimate victim, that how dare him sue me? Or how dare he sue me? How dare this happen to me? Lawfare. With a straight face as if she was the victim. Understand this. That was all a lie. If you can't see the sociopathic nature of who she is, the absolute moral bankruptcy, the fact that she is a worse person than probably any of you know on a regular basis, because nobody would choose to voluntarily associate with such a piece of crap like Kari Lake, I can't help you. At the end of the day, she's also wrong on the law. She's not going to be able to just pay back Stephen Richer for his medications. Look at the jury instructions. You pull it up here and it says, and it proves that he can get emotional distress, and that's not limited to the value of medications. This isn't a breach of contract. It is the reasonable value of what the fact finder, judge, or jury determines is the cost to Stephen Richer for everything he's been through. This campaign by Kari Lake of political arson and political terrorism Period. End of story. It's up to them entirely, and their discretion is pretty much unassailable and unreviewable by an appellate court. I expect millions and millions of dollars. And the punitive damages she didn't talk about, but those are still active. And she admitted everything by defaulting necessary to prove punitive damages. There's certain elements you have to prove. They acted with intent and malice. He alleged that. She didn't answer. So that's taking as if it had been proven and found by a jury to be a fact. Okay? Punitive damages are meant to punish and deter. So it's not about the cost of his medications. What is it going to take to punish Kari Lake and deter other well-funded politicians from engaging in similar campaigns of terrorism? When somebody is a candidate for major office in this country and they have the megaphone of their position, they are a weapon of mass destruction when it comes to defamation. And so what it takes, it's going to take millions and millions and millions of dollars to punish and deter someone like that. So she's going to get taken for a ride. She's going to get taken to the cleaners. I hope she loses everything because she deserves to. She's a horrible person. She throws the judicial system under the bus. She throws the elections under the bus. She lies. She cheats. She steals. Absolute fraud. Lucifer in the flesh. And she cannot declare bankruptcy because these are intentional wrongs. So good luck, Kari Lake. You're going to get what you deserve. Finally.